So it looks like there's more rumors going around about whether or not Microsoft might buy Sega. I know a lot of people completely throw this out the window because it seems like such a far-fetched investment and something that is out of the realm of possibility. But with this particular one, I do feel like there is some meaning to these rumors, and I want to go over about that a little bit. Before we get on with the video, definitely hit that like button if you guys enjoyed the video. You can always subscribe to the channel for weekly content, and you can always follow me on Twitter at LordAddictIOP. Without any further ado, let's talk about whether or not Microsoft might actually buy Sega. What's going on, you guys? Gaming Addict here, coming at you with another video. Yes, we're going to be talking more about Microsoft acquisitions. I know a lot of you are tired of this, and part of me is too, you guys, but I can't help it. It's in the news, man. We got to talk about it. Even if it's a rumor, I feel like this particular rumor has a lot of value to it. There's a lot of things that's going on behind closed doors that makes no sense, and I just want to bring it up. Now, for those of you that don't know, if you go back and you look at my TGS video, I briefly go into this, and a lot of things that happened in that video is still happening to this day, and some are adding on to it. So let's go ahead and go over and break down some of the things that's been going on and why a lot of people think that Microsoft is looking into buying Sega, if not have already bought Sega. Now, first off, let's go over to all the insiders. Well, you know, insiders with quotations, I assume, because the tweet's gone. There used to be a tweet that it was someone that said that they know firsthand from someone, I think it said Windows Central. I can't remember, and I can't go back and look at the tweet, but it did say on there that not only were they looking to buy Sega, they were looking to buy Konami. Now, I don't know why anyone would want Konami. To me personally, I've never really enjoyed any of their games. Now, they do have access to the Yu-Gi-Oh franchise, which is okay, I suppose, but for the most part, I want to focus on Sega. Now, the Konami thing came out of left field, and that's a little weird. Now, you know, the individual deleting their tweet can mean multiple different things. He could have been completely talking out of his ass, and then after enough people called him out, felt a little uncomfortable, so he took the tweet down. He could have been jumped on by his source to take the tweet down, and that's what happened there. You know, pretty much you be the judge of what happened. Now, let's talk a little bit about one of the biggest reasons that people didn't think that Microsoft could buy Sega. Sega, up until this point, was part of a company called Sammy. Now, Sammy makes gambling stuff. They make gambling machines, etc., etc. They have a lot of different varieties in the gambling field. Now, I don't know if it's because of the pandemic. I don't know if it's because, you know, people ain't going out and gambling, which I doubt that, so it's probably a little bit of both. But it looks like as of last week, Sega and Sammy have split. Now, I don't know exactly what it means if who owns who. Now, I'm assuming Sammy still owns Sega, but I don't know exactly what's going on behind closed doors there. I just think it's a little coincidence and a little convenient for the timing. You know, a lot of rumors have been going around for months that Microsoft's going to buy Sega, and now, all of a sudden, the only big entity that people thought was the reason that Microsoft could never buy Sega has split from Sega. Now, for those of you that caught my video about TGS, you saw that there are a lot of things going on. Not necessarily that I would say they're more of a coincidence. You have, for instance, the controller that has the same color as Sonic. A lot of people saw that around the Microsoft headquarters. Some people saw that at Sega. So a lot of people assume that's a little bit of cross promotion. It was weird. So that's why some people back then thought that Microsoft already bought Sega, and at TGS it was going to get announced. But TGS came and went. No announcement such was made. I do remember Microsoft making an announcement that they currently have nothing to announce. They didn't come out straight and deny it. They just said that right now we have no further announcements in terms of, you know, acquisitions, etc., etc. And I think that was kind of weird. I feel like if it was no realm of truth to that, they would have just came out and made a statement that we are not trying to buy Sega. I do not own a multi-billion-dollar, multi-trillion-dollar corporation, so I couldn't even give really too much input on what their PR should or should not say. Didn't go to school for that. Now, keep in mind, I don't know whether or not that, you know, people in Japan taking Sega off their Windows and stuff have anything to say about this, but it is kind of weird that you see people taking Sega off their Windows. Now, I don't know how long they've been up there. I don't know if it's a promotion thing. I don't know if Sammy paid them a certain amount of time to keep Sega on their Windows, but it is weird that they're taking them off. Now, I remember there was a rumor a long time ago that Microsoft was going to pay Sega to be the Japanese Japanese brand of Xbox. It's supposed to be renamed like Xbox Sega or Sega Xbox or something like that. So if that is true, maybe that's the reason they're taking Sega off, because they're no longer going to be that company. And here in the next couple months, they're going to announce some kind of partnership with Sega, or they've been bought by Microsoft and Japan knows, and they're removing them, because I know there's a lot of cultural going on there in terms of like American companies. So I don't know whether or not maybe that corporation or that company that wasn't feeling the fact that Sega sold their company to an American company, so that's why they removed them off their window. I don't know. I'm not in Japan. I can only go off the stuff that I've seen. If you want to look at, you know, the video that I did on TGS where I spoke about them taking Sega off the building, I'll definitely put it in the description below. I'm not saying it means anything. I just say it's a little, once again, a coincidence. I don't believe in this many coincidences around this particular topic. Now let's talk about the gaming side. And what I mean by the gaming side is the relationship between Microsoft and Sega in general. Now, for the longest time, we didn't have Yakuza on the Xbox platform. And now, not only do we have Yakuza on the Xbox platform, but we have an exclusive next-gen version of Yakuza for the time being. I know it's a timed exclusive. Now, although a lot of people don't like the new Yakuza, some of the people don't like it because of the direction they went. They turned it into a turn-based game instead of, you know, whatever that genre was before, because I didn't really play Yakuza before Like a Dragon. It wasn't necessarily because it wasn't on Xbox or wasn't an exclusive to Xbox. I just didn't really like the type of gameplay I saw, but I've always been a huge fan of Final Fantasy, so when I saw Like a Dragon, I was a little bit more drawn into it. And with the next-gen exclusive to take into consideration, we also have the fact that a lot of Yakuza seem to always show up in Game Pass, and to my knowledge, none of them has been taken away. Now, that doesn't mean anything. It literally could just mean we have like a year to two of a deal going on with Sega to get all the Yakuzas in Game Pass. Phil Spencer himself has said he will be more open to making sure more Japanese games will be in Sega. So that could literally be the reason. It could be nothing more than that. But for the most part, a lot of these games I see leaving in 6 months to a year. And the Yakuza games, I haven't seen one leave. That doesn't mean anything, like I said. I don't know the deal that they have with them, but I do think it's a little odd that not one Yakuza, to my knowledge, has left that subscription service. And they keep adding more to it. Now, I could be wrong. They could have removed multiple Yakuzas from Game Pass, and I just haven't seen it because it's not a title that I'm necessarily looking out for. But to my knowledge, they haven't took one out. Now, what does this mean? Now, all these rumors could mean nothing. It could literally be a bunch of coincidences, and we are all overreading all of this. But I don't think that. I think there is some realm of truth here. I used to think back to the TGS video, like I said, that'll be in the description below, that I don't think that there's any way Microsoft is buying Sega. I said I think it's just a good partnership, maybe a multi-game partnership that's going to go in Game Pass day and date, and they're going to continue this trend. But now, as the more information comes out and the more things I see, I think it's a realm of possibility that Sega could definitely be bought by Microsoft. Do I think it's something that, you know, what if I were to put a percentage on what I think the percentage of Microsoft buying Sega, I would say maybe 60, maybe 70. We'll go 70, 30. Now, I know that's pretty high, but last time I thought it was 50-50. Now I'm giving it a little bit more of a higher percentage. I think it would be something that Microsoft really needs to do. It's no coincidence that Microsoft has lacked that JRPG, that Japanese oriented stuff. And until they bought Bethesda, they didn't even have a first party Japanese developer. And if they are able to get Sega, I don't think they'll have to do anything else in this industry. I think between Bethesda and Sega, they'll have the perfect set of games in terms of, you know, settling the West, settling the East, making sure both fan bases are happy. Maybe having Sega as the portfolio, having Sega come to Game Pass along with xCloud could be their key to getting into more of a Japanese market, more of an Asian market in general, because a lot of them are more handheld focused. I think it would be a good thing, and I think there's a decent possibility it could happen. Obviously, it could definitely not happen, but I do hope it happens because I do enjoy the Persona series, and I think that those would very well help Microsoft grow in the JRPG and the turn-based genre in general. And then, you know, maybe after a couple games of getting games like Persona, Yakuza, day one, where we don't have to wait a year from its counterpart on PlayStation to arrive on the Xbox fan base will start gravitating towards this genre, and you'll see an increase in sales, because if you don't get them all and you don't get games like Final Fantasy 16, Final Fantasy 7 Remake, how do you expect the fans to really gravitate when you do get those games? You can't. And I've always been the perspective that Kingdom Hearts 3 sold well, Monster Hunter sold well. If you give the Xbox fan base the games day one, sure, some of them might not sell well, but some of them will sell well. And sooner or later, after that genre has really going around the Xbox platform, the Xbox ecosystem for a couple years, you'll start seeing an increase in sale because people are used to playing those games now. And they're fans of them now. There's a lot of gamers coming into the generation that have never played games. We have people being born every year, people turning into a certain age to play games every year, and those are potential customers. And if you don't give those customers those games, why do you expect them to buy your games in the future? But anyway, that's all of my thoughts. That's the video. I'll see you next time. I'm out of here. Peace.